Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Sagittarius January 9, 2023. Today is strong for seeing the finer side of a situation, and it's also solid for creative expression. You can be in an open, generous mood, feeling spirited. Establishing trust and faith can be successful now. Take the time to think about problems that have been difficult to solve, as it's a good time for finding solutions. There can be a nice feeling that you're contributing something positive to the world today, and you can feel moved by the idea that you're helping and supporting others through your work, the services you provide, or your practical advice. Your intuition for work, research, discrepancies, analysis, and health matters is peaking. Somebody important to you can come through in a pinch. Feelings are intense, and they are continuing to intensify. For instance, the moon slips into your erotic house of sex, intimate unions, and soulmate connections today, highlighting everything from the foundation of a significant partnership to your desire for emotional closeness. Are you and your lover still on the same page? Or are you wondering whether they still feel the same? The moon will also conjoin Neptune, making figuring out these feelings more difficult than usual. The ongoing sextile between Uranus retrograde and Neptune is perfect for transforming your work life after investing your time, money, and energy into the necessary aspects needed to make your job run smoothly. As this unfolds, the moon in Cancer highlights your sector of commitments. You might feel more emotionally ready to commit to working with people, places, and opportunities during this lunation. Considering the lunar energy exudes air characteristics, you could feel clear-headed as you deepen the commitments to your job because it feels like a smart move to make. The moon not only returns for its first visit to your financial sector for the year today, but its first since Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, returned last week. While this is still early days, an alignment between the moon and Jupiter today is a window into the planet that will not only shape the rest of this financial year but can make it one of the best in a long time. To put it mildly, you are somewhat overwhelmed with what is expected of you. There are frequent misunderstandings, especially with relatives and friends. To avoid making the tense situation worse, refrain from acting in the heat of the moment. You need a great deal of time and patience for talking things over to clear matters up. You're kind of on your own today thanks to the freaky energy that pervades the day. It leaves you without an easy way to make decisions. If right and wrong both seem equal, you'll have to flip a coin. You come under intense scrutiny and react badly to criticism you might receive from people you care about most. Emotional outbursts lead you to say things you later regret. It is probably best if you try and remove yourself from any tense situation to a quiet place where you're able to reflect on how you feel. The heavy atmosphere initiated by today's aspect can be deflected by your pleasure-loving nature, but it isn't always as easy as you might think. Generally, it's easier to say yes than no, as it is more pleasing to fulfill rather than disappoint. However, saying no can give you the freedom to get what you really want. Therefore, pleasure is not always easy to come by. Consider this challenge when you are faced with your dietary choices. It comes down to a yes or a no. This day is all about you. However, before you start to haul out your party gear, you may want to complete any business dealings that need to be wrapped up. Try to not get distracted while you're tending to the business at hand, as difficult as this may be. Remember that you will have even more fun without things hanging over your head. Then you can join the gang and have an evening of fun and excitement. With your magnetic appeal, you will be sought after and are sure to be the apex of the night's activities. 3 days after Venus returned to your communication sector to begin her mission to give your heart and your relationships a voice, the moon not only wraps up its first visit to your relationship sector for the year, but just as Mars moves into his last 7 days in retrograde motion there. Venus-friendly aspect to the dwarf planet Ceres today adds to a growing sense of confidence, while the moon leaves you emotionally engaged and better able to give your relationships, the past, and unsaid words a voice. As the moon leaves your relationships sector, it not only wraps up its first visit for the year and the last while Mars is in retrograde motion, but the only visit while Venus is in your communication sector. 3 days after Venus' return, this has given the planet of love's mission to give your relationships, the past and unsaid words, a voice, an early boost. Our eyes in the sky. The Capricorn's sun links up favorably with retrograde Mercury this morning. This is an amazing time during this planet's moonwalk, because the sun's energy helps Mercury focus. If you have any plans to schedule, contracts to sign, or situations to initiate, it's advised that you do so today. Reap the benefits of the Cazimi energy and use it to your advantage. As you cannot know what the future holds and things can change quickly, prepare to be flexible, also in financial matters. You might suffer unpleasant consequences if you make a big investment or acquisition now. If you're given this advice, remain skeptical and take some time to consider, as the information might not be the best. In your private life, you feel like you're walking through a minefield. One false move and there will be an explosion. This will really put you to the test. Don't let others blame you for everything. Sometimes they are at fault too. Remember to be open for other points of view when it comes to solving problems. Reconciling both is a difficult, but not impossible task. Family and friends feel especially drawn to you and are paying you a great deal of attention. If you've been intending to renew old friendships or resolve a dispute, but didn't know how to go about it, now is the best time to cast aside your misgivings and go ahead. You will be welcomed and forgiven, and glad that you took the first step. You have the ideas, the resources, and the desire to complete a project that is important to you, but unfortunately, you don't have the concentration. Today you are lacking serious discipline and sheer motivation to get yourself moving. Try harder. In the morning, the Cancer moon trines Neptune in Pisces, encouraging us to trust our intuition. Our imagination is stimulated, inspiring creative conceptualization. This is a particularly good influence for making art or crafting music. We feel as though we are the conduit for divine transmissions, acting as a channel for otherworldly ideas. Share your creations with loved ones and get their feedback. Are you working towards your own dream or someone else's dream? This is an important question to ask yourself. Be sure that you are on target with a goal that is important to you. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Stay level-headed today. People around you may try to tempt you into trying a new idea or buying into a new scheme. Don't fall for it. You will regret doing so later on. Your best bet is to stay focused on the work you already have in front of you. You may find yourself obsessing on something that doesn't matter today. Stick to your healthy habits during this distraction, and when push comes to shove, stand firm about your health. We all feel out of control once in a while. Remind yourself that you are not perfect. Anybody expects you to be perfect, and you are not aiming for perfection. If this doesn't help quell the obsessive thinking, try getting to bed early and trying again tomorrow. Shortly following this, the Capricorn Sun aligns with Mercury in its inferior conjunction, offering clarity on a matter that has plagued us during Mercury's retrograde spin. This is a good time to take decisive action, affirming that changes must be made to open a new chapter in our life story. Illumination is a gift, but it is only as good as what we do with the insight we've received. If we don't commit to using revelations to support our growth and development, the wisdom we obtain is essentially meaningless. Today is a day to release our codependency on old patterns and narratives and make space for new, more empowering ones.